Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and this is episode 5 of the Wireless Weekly Recap. In this episode, I will try to make it shorter. Last week's episode was really long, so I apologize for that. I had lots of stuff to cover last week, and in this week's episode, we have lots of stuff to cover again, so let's get right into it. So the quiet period that carriers are currently under, where they can't really talk any merger deals or any spectrum deals, is about to end. So you best believe that these talks are going to get really intense in a few weeks. Lots of rumors are going to stop popping up. So I'm excited for it. There's going to be lots of news to report. As you can see by the title, Sprint T-Mobile merger, will Masa's son be the winning bidder? At this point, I think a T-Mobile and Sprint merger is out the window. I think T-Mobile is the much stronger carrier, and they're going to look much more attractive to any cable company, Charter, Comcast, whatever company it is, they will look much more attractive than Sprint. Now, as I mentioned in last week's video, Sprint is going to need a boatload of capital to really get in the swing of things. It would have to be something like where a company comes in and says, you know what, I'm going to pay your debt, use the current CapEx, capital investment, for your upgrades, for your small cells, and I'm going to give you an additional $15 billion over 3 years for network expansion. It would have to be a company that comes in that aggressive, that literally says, I'm going to pay down your debt payments, I'm going to give you money for expansion, just use your current CapEx for your current rollouts, your upgrades, your small cells, towers, whatever you do. I'm going to give you this over a 3-year period of time, so $5 billion each year I'm going to give you to expand your 4G LTE network. And that's what Sprint is going to need. And I don't know if a cable company is willing to do that without owning 100% of Sprint. So if Comcast came in and said, you know what, Sprint, I'm going to buy you, but it has to be 100%, then I'm going to own you. That way I can guarantee my investment, I will get a return on my investment. And we all know Comcast is money hungry and greedy, so they're going to want double back on their investment. And I don't know, see, the thing is with Comcast, they won't see any of that investment early on. If they are willing to invest $15 billion, and of course I'm just talking numbers, that extended rollout of 4G LTE and getting it to all the rural areas is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen within 12 months. We're looking at 24 to 36 months, if not even longer. And within that time, they might even have to raise the capital investment a bit to get things speeded up in other areas. So that is why Sprint is a tough subject. T-Mobile looks much more attractive. They don't really need that much more capital investment to get the network on a roll, and I will show you guys that here later on in the video. They are moving things along very heavily. They're being very aggressive, especially now since Verizon's offering unlimited. T-Mobile is being a lot more aggressive with small cells, network expansion. They're doing it all, and really good marketing. Now the HD, offering the HD on T-Mobile's network, that's a bit tricky, because in a lot of areas they're starting to gain more and more market share, and the network is kind of on the congestion side. I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, and more reports are coming up as days go on. So I will see how T-Mobile responds to that, and to see if the network team can keep up with the demand. So it'll definitely be really interesting to see as we go forward. We're going on 4 months into the year. First half it's already been lots of news. I'm excited for the second half, and then Q3 and Q4 is going to be very competitive, and there's going to be lots of news to report. Lots of carriers are going to have crazy deals, especially with everyone now offering unlimited. It's going to be really crazy. So let me know in the comment section down below if you think that maybe Comcast is willing to step in on Sprint. And I think 100% Comcast would have to own Sprint. There wouldn't be a merger, no 40-50, 45-55 split, none of that. Comcast says, you know what, I'm going to help you This is what we're going to fund, but I got to own the 100%. And I think all the other cable companies would be in that same boat. So next, so we have some speed testing. This one right here is on I-75 mile 40 out of Florida. I believe 142 on the download, almost 30 on the upload. So T-Mobile is doing a really good job there. Like I said, they're expanding, they're getting better each and every quarter. They're reporting bigger numbers, and they're getting really close to Verizon. So definitely good to see that. Also, this is out of Tampa, Florida. Really good speeds there. T-Mobile looks really good in the Florida market. From what I've heard from a couple of friends and buddies, Sprint is also getting stronger in Florida, Orlando, Miami. They're adding carriers to band 25. They have band 41 up and running. They're also getting a bit better along the interstates, so that's really good to hear. Next, we have a speed test out of California on T-Mobile. As I was saying, a lot of people are reporting congestion, and here's another one. 35 ping, 4 bars. Speed should be much better than what you're seeing. 0.05, 0.02, that's unacceptable going into 5G. But T-Mobile has to get that under control. But it has been out of control in a lot of areas, including my market, being that we are a border town and they have these great plans where you can use your internet in Mexico unlimited. So a lot of people are on T-Mobile and Metro PCS here, and the congestion is running down the network, and especially now with the HD pass being the standard, it's gonna get worse. So definitely, I'm glad you sent a speed test in, so I was able to show that the congestion is there. Next, this is also out of Southern California, a Verizon speed test. So really good to see in SoCal that Verizon's doing well. Low ping, great download, great upload. 7:21 p.m. at night, around peak times. So no issues there. Definitely really good to see. Also, next we have another speed test out of San Diego, California. So really good to see that. 47 download, 20 up, 32 ping. So it looks like the Verizon network is really solid in Southern California. So glad to see that. All right, next we have another speed test out of California. This is the same person that I just showed you guys that had the congestion. And in another area, T-Mobile is much better. So definitely good to see that. Like I was telling you guys, T-Mobile is running into what they call speed islands. So you're driving down the street, from that one tower, you're not getting anything. Then you make a U-turn and you go the opposite way, and boom, all of a sudden you're getting 50 and 25. So that's an issue that T-Mobile has to get under control to become more consistent. Now, in a lot of areas, they're very good. A lot of you guys have been reporting big numbers, big download speeds, and I can't deny that T-Mobile is really good in a lot of areas, but in a lot of areas where they have taken market share from Verizon, their towers are taking the hit for it. So next, so we have a speed test out of Las Vegas. So really good to see T-Mobile doing lots of work there as well. I reported some Vegas speed tests last week as well, and two bars. That's really good. Now it is at 2:16 a.m., but we all know in Vegas nobody really sleeps, so people are always up and out and about. So definitely good to see these speeds as well. Alrighty, so this is a speed test out of Los Angeles, California on Verizon. So big speed improvements in LA from Verizon. 257 on the download and 23 on the upload. As I reported this morning, Verizon is getting very aggressive on small cells. Massive MIMO, more towers. I mean, they're doing everything in the book that all these other carriers are talking about. But Verizon hasn't made any big press releases, or they're not making any, like uncarrier announcements. They're just doing the work, and it shows. They have been doing this for years, and they continue to do the same. And they knew that they were ready to offer unlimited. They knew they could just add on spectrum in certain areas, add additional carrier for the third carrier aggregation. They knew they had enough money to add the massive MIMO at a high rate. and across the nation. More towers already, permits already filed for more towers into the future. I just had another permit filed in my area for a roof mount, for a tower on top of a roof. I mean, they're working endlessly. I got to give it to their network team. Verizon's really good. Not only that they have the money, but they have some really good people in that network team that know what they're doing. So definitely good to see that. And this is another speed test out of San Jose, California. This is on an iPhone 6s Plus, which we all know the iPhone 6s Plus is a older model, so it doesn't have the same technology as the 7 and 7 Plus. And Verizon is still getting crazy speeds, 161 on the download, 25 on the upload. So this is really good to see. Verizon is just kicking ass all across the nation. So here's a speed test. I don't know the area. It wasn't given to me in the email, but this is T-Mobile, 5 bars, 19 ping. That is really low, and the 5G transition is supposed to lower the pings as well, so we could see pings as low as 1. So this is really good to see a ping of 19. 116 on the download, 32 on the upload. Great speeds. That 4x4 MIMO is kicking in, the 256 QAMs, and T-Mobile is boosting speeds that way. And it's starting to kick in across the nation, so really good to see. Next. This is something that I also wanted to report towards the end of the video. This is T-Mobile's 4G LTE expansion. So on their current map, the coverage map on the T-Mobile.com website, they now show service in, let me show you, in South Dakota and North Dakota and Montana, where previously they had no service. Now, how they were able to fill it so quick, as we discussed early on in my videos, their prediction towards the end of 2017 is to be neck and neck with Verizon. And then a lot of you guys were commenting, well, how are they going to do it that fast? I think it's roaming, and I was right. So as I was looking, I wasn't zoomed in at this point. So I looked up the coverage map. I was like, wow, T-Mobile has that whole entire area covered now. Looks like the highways, interstates, all covered. Then I went deep into it, and as you can see, it is all roaming. Now, I don't know what carrier that is. It could be at&t still. They could have signed another roaming agreement with a local carrier. I don't know. I will definitely look into that. But they have that whole area covered literally with roaming. There's very little native T-Mobile coverage in these areas, but they show it as coverage. So I know a lot of you guys don't believe in that type of coverage to be T-Mobile coverage, but they will claim this at the end of their year when they report their final year's coverage map. They're going to report this as coverage. And they're going to report this as square miles of coverage. So once they report this and the additional native coverage that they add, they will be neck and neck with Verizon by the end of this year. Now, do they have plans to add native coverage to these areas? I'm sure they do with Band 12. But this right here, the roaming, it will allow them to add coverage there a lot faster. Now, on this type of coverage, you can only call and text. You really don't have any internet. But, a lot of you guys are probably going to have mixed feelings about this. But this is really good to see that T-Mobile is trying. They're trying everything in the book to catch up to Verizon and be a true nationwide carrier and be very competitive. So that's all it really takes to just try. Sprint hasn't even tried any coverage expansion, no native, nothing. They just pay Verizon a good amount of money per year, and they offer roaming in all of these areas. So Sprint has coverage there too, but it's all roaming. It's all roaming on Verizon. So you can place a call, you could text, but also what I've noticed, being that I roam at work on Verizon, the calls drop. They drop ridiculously. I mean, that 1X on Verizon is not that great. It drops the call 5 to 10 minutes in. Voice is very bad. The person on the other end can barely hear me. I can barely hear them, and then the call just drops off. So roaming is not all that great, but Sprint still pays billions of dollars for it. The thing is, if Sprint does say, you know what, we're going to cut Verizon off, we're going to invest that money into the network, those areas immediately lose any type of coverage that was there. So as soon as you get to these areas, whether you're traveling or you live there, you're going to lose. Sprint's going to have nothing there. You ain't going to be able to do nothing, no calling, no texting, anything, nothing. So I think Sprint is doing that to hold off on the process of rolling out network expansion, maybe, so that the customer can have some type of coverage so they won't lose additional customers. But, you know, that's already going to be, their churn is going to be higher this quarter for sure. Verizon, with that unlimited plan, put a dent in everybody's numbers. Now, carriers are starting to slowly fight back with better deals. As I told you guys, the insider hookup T-Mobile deal, it's not offered everywhere. As I found out, it's only offered in certain states, certain cities. It's a code that is allowed for new lines. It's more of a tool for the sales agent to close the deal. Hey, this is the original pricing. If you close today, I'll give you 20% off on all the lines. So it is a really good deal. So I definitely just wanted to report this to you guys. I'm going to cut this a bit shorter. I don't want it to be too long. I definitely appreciate all you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. Lots of speed tests sent in, so I appreciate that. We need more for the next week. I hope you guys are excited for this upcoming week. Lots of news will be reported. Merger deals are going to start popping up. Spectrum deals is going to be very crazy. Also, soon we should find out what carrier got, what slice of spectrum across the nation for the 600 megahertz. So that'll be really good to see, and I will report that to you guys. So definitely give these videos a thumbs up. It keeps me motivated, keeps me going. Like, share, subscribe. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.